So, you've passed the tests and are now coming to terms with the fact that you're a bit of a melon mate. Now, some of you might have already accepted your nature long before you knew I existed, and to those of you who fall into that category, you've somehow managed to become self aware despite your idiotic nature, and for that, I'd tip my proverbial hat off to you, mate. Now, it's easy to feel down about what we are, since we're a bunch of clowns, but would you believe, being an idiot also has its benefits. Number one, we set a good standard. Every community needs figures to look up to, so, in times of crisis, they have someone to find comfort in, knowing they set a good standard to refer to. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea here, mate. Typically, such figures are beacons of what to do. Yeah, nah, mate, that's not us, lad. We're shining examples of what not to do. Painfully poor decision making, shite communication, and unstable relationships. We inspire our communities by showing them the harsh realities of living like a spoon. Would you believe, when people get a good look at me and how my life is going, they tend to work twice as hard to get their life back on track, making me a shining beacon of inspiration. Number two, our idiocy is endearing. Life is pretty tough, mate. There's so much suffering and bollocks involved in it all that you'll often feel like you're not good enough. It's easy to go online or look outside your window and think, wow, everybody else seems to have it all together, and I'm sitting here having my third mental breakdown of the week. Even though we look at those who've found success in this life, often from a positive stance, when you're going through it, there's plenty of days when you just want them to fuck off. On those days especially, for me anyway, I can't help but look at the idiots of the world and feel like I understand them on a spiritual level. I relate with their struggles, so they can seem quite likeable. Well, that's usually until they open their mouth and all manner of bullshit comes out. Number three, the weight of expectations is typically lower than smarter people. When you're mentally incompetent, like your typical idiot is, people will shift towards expecting absolutely fuck all from them. This might leave some idiots feeling useless and unneeded, but take solace in knowing that, even if people don't rely on you for anything, apart from maybe doing the bollocks, this should result in a decent amount of the external pressure you face being removed, leaving you time to focus on your other issues. As far as I'm concerned, mate, that's half the battle, so it could be worse. And lastly, number four, idiots tend to be happier. There's a reason many people say ignorance is bliss. The more you learn about the world and everything in it, the more you'll likely feel sad and inadequate. The beauty about being an idiot is, typically, idiots don't know very much. The less you know, the less overthinking you do. The less problems and crises you have, thus, the happier you'll be. Or you could say, the less miserable you should be. Whatever way you want to put it, smarter people tend to be more unhappy. So, you've got that going for you, mate. Well, probably. To conclude, can you make an argument to say that being an idiot is better than being smart? Nah. The downsides of being a clown definitely beat out the upsides, but it's not all doom and gloom. There's at least some flawed upsides, some of which I mentioned in this video, that you should remember when you're going through your next internal crisis.